Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea. Dear listeners, now we start English language service of Voice of Korea from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Here is a mixed chorus, song of General Kim Il-sung. Premier Bill Khabarovsk, Sub General Kim Jong-il.
You're listening to VRK Voice of Korea News Now.
The third day sitting of the fifth plenary meeting of the 7th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea was held on December the 30th. Chairman of the Workers' Party of Korea, Kim Jong-un, continued his report. In the report, he presented the principal issues for strengthening the party and enhancing the role of the senior officials. He reported the specific tasks and ways to further strengthen the party organizationally and ideologically, raise its leadership ability remarkably as the general staff of the revolution, and consolidate and develop it as a militant party full of vim and vigor in keeping with the demand of the developing revolution. He called on the officials to thoroughly implement the leadership and idea of the party without condition and make selfless, devoted efforts for the good of the people with high ideal and ambition. Chairman Kim Jong-un made a 7-hour-long comprehensive report at the plenary meeting on the work of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, state building, economic development, and building of armed forces. In his historic report, he dwelt upon strengthening the economic work system and order, the tasks of major industrial sectors of the national economy, decisively increasing the agricultural production, improving science, education, and public health, conducting a vigorous movement for increased production and economy, and for raising quality, protecting ecological environment, and taking thorough measures to prevent natural disasters, preparing active and offensive political, diplomatic, and military countermeasures for the sovereignty and security of the country, intensifying the struggle against the anti-socialist and non-socialist practices, improving the work of the working people's organizations, and establishing a moral discipline throughout the society, strengthening the party and steadily raising its leadership ability, enhancing the role of the senior officials, and all other issues arising in the whole affairs of the party and state, and clarify the orientation and ways to implement them. Saying that the Workers' Party of Korea has made up its mind to wage another arduous and long struggle for the final victory of the revolution and better life of the Korean people. He called for dynamically opening the route of victorious advance to realize the ambition and ideal of building a powerful socialist country before concluding his report. The entire participants expressed full support to his report, which presents the correct blueprint for opening a new avenue of advance of Korean-style socialism. The historic report made by Chairman Kim Jong-un at the 5th plenary meeting of the 7th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea is a militant banner to remove all sorts of challenges and obstacles in the way of our advance, make a bigger stride of revolutionary advance, and accomplish the great cause of prosperity with self-reliance at an early date by strengthening the internal motive force in every way. Excited at the great strategic idea and grandiose action program of the Korean Revolution clarified by him, the participants took an active part in the discussion of the agenda concerned in support of all the analyzed issues and new tasks, and expressed a firm determination and will to resolutely implement them. The plenary meeting went into the study of the draft resolution on the agenda concerns and the important document to be discussed as the next agenda. The meeting continues.
The respected Kim Jong-un, Chairman of the Workers' Party of Korea and Chairman of the State Affairs Commission and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, received a reply message from Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa, King of Bahrain, on the 23rd. The reply message expressed heartfelt thanks to Kim Jong-un for his good congratulations on the occasion of the National Day of the Kingdom of Bahrain. It sincerely wished him good health and happiness, and the friendly DPRK people constant progress and prosperity. It also hoped that the relations between the two friendly countries and two peoples would be further strengthened and developed. Foreign political party leaders in their messages praised the great leader Kim Jong-il on the occasion of the 8th anniversary of his demise. The General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Czechoslovak Communist Party said, Kim Jong-il united the Korean people and laid the foundation for achieving peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. The General Secretary of the Federation of Working People of Lebanon stressed that leader Kim Jong-il led Socialist Korea to a greater progress and prosperity by applying the revolutionary idea of President Kim Il-sung, father of Socialist Korea. The chairman of the Supreme Council of the National Socialist Party of Romania described Kim Jong-il as a prominent statesman, great hero, and the eternal General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea. The General Secretary of the Socialist Unionist Party of Syria praised Kim Jong-il as an extraordinary leader who wisely led the country and people against the imperialist forces and ranked the Democratic People's Republic of Korea among advanced countries. The International Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of People of Spain stressed that the life of Kim Jong-il was the life of a great man who devoted his all to prosperity of the country and happiness of the people, and to national reunification and the global independence. Gangwon Province has rebuilt the Provincial Agriculture Science Institute and the Wonsan Vegetable Research Branch Institute. The Provincial Agricultural Science Institute has a room dedicated to its history, Maize Research Room, Soil Survey and Analysis Room, and Scientific Successes Exhibition, and is equipped with many facilities and fixtures. The Wonsan Vegetable Research Branch Institute has an office building with a number of levels and seed storehouse, auxiliary building, and garage and farm machine storehouse. The reconstruction of those institutes has made it possible for the province to fully solve the scientific and technical problems arising in putting the agricultural production on a scientific and intensive basis. Kim Il-sung University has made hundreds of valuable scientific research findings this year. Teachers and researchers of the university, in league with technicians of the monthly art studio, introduced into reality valuable research findings such as light system by natural energy. They completed a new construction method of concrete pile foundation at the construction site of the Wonsan-Galma coastal tourist area and made many other research findings contributing to the economic construction and improvement of the people's living. They made a great contribution to the modernization of factories, including the computer-integrated manufacturing systems of the Pyongyang Cosmetics Factory and the Pyongyang Trolleybus Factory, and the automation system of the seasoned kelp production process of the Pyongyang Daejeong Leather Processing Factory. They made a beneficiation reagent with our own technology and materials, opening a bright prospect to establish the phosphatic fertilizer production system. In this way, they solved the scientific and technological issues in different fields. This year, the university has contributed 100 scores of papers to international scientific magazines of world authority. Progress has been made in putting the greenhouse vegetable production on a scientific and intensive footing in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea this year. The construction of the large-scale Jingpyeong vegetable greenhouse farm has become a standard of the vegetable greenhouse farms of Korean style that can do greenhouse farming extensively in all parts of the country. Active efforts were made to breed and widely introduce new varieties of tasty and highly nutritious vegetables. The Pyongyang Vegetable Science Institute under the Academy of Agricultural Science has bred new varieties of tasty and highly nutritious greenhouse vegetables of different kinds and registered them as state varieties. Greenhouse vegetable producers across the country, including North Pyongan Province, have made positive efforts to increase the number of varieties of greenhouse vegetables 1.5 times as against before, and introduce high-yield variety cultivating technology, and thus shorten the crop's yielding period and greatly increase the output as against last year. The reconstruction project of the Pyongyang Aromatic Essence Factory has been finished with success. The Pyongyang Aromatic Essence Factory, which can start and produce aromatic essence, has been wonderfully built in harmony with the scenery of the shore of the Daedong River, laying a solid foundation to produce aromatic essence needed for the people's living with domestic materials as much as possible.
And that's the end of the news read by Choi Sung-nam and Kim Hyun-ok. This is Voice of Korea.
You enjoy a female chorus? Our comrade Kim Jong-un.
Oh,
commander who trained the army strong in ideology and faith. December 30th, 2019 is the significant 8th anniversary of the respected Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un's appointment as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Professor and Dr. Lee Jong-ik, Section Chief of the Institute of Revolutionary History of Comrades Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il under the Academy of Social Sciences says,
주체자산을 승리한 길로 이끄시는 성스러운 그 도전에서 우리 인민은 인민군대가 지닌 불패의 이력을 더 강화하고
The respected Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un is leading Juche Korea along the road of victory. The Korean people warmly recall the tireless efforts made by him to further strengthen the invincible might of the People's Army. Under his wise leadership, the Korean People's Army has come to firmly preserve its revolutionary character as the army of the leader and the army of the party, and victoriously lead the building of a powerful socialist country. Those years with Kim Jong-un as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the DPRK are recorded with his energetic leadership for training the service personnel as those strong in ideology and faith. When he called at an allied post on the East Sea, Kim Jong-un said to commanding officers, "No weapon is more powerful than the political and ideological strength. When we give full play to the spiritual strength of the service personnel, we can always win victory in battle. We should strengthen the political and ideological education to train the service personnel as those strong in ideology and faith." 1 year, when he visited the unit of the People's Army, he stressed the need to strengthen the political and ideological education among the service personnel and train them as the indomitable vanguard fighters and those with strong faith and will who do not give up the revolutionary faith to the death. Researcher Kim Un-sung at the Institute of Revolutionary History of Comrades Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il under the Academy of Social Sciences says,
우리나라에 청하고 의무감 정세가 자성된 것은 한두 번이
It was not once or twice that an acute and grave situation was created in our country. Despite the manifold crises and all sorts of fierce storms, the respected Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un was optimistic about the invincibility of our ideology and cause, and convinced the officers and men of the People's Army of the mission of national defense. In April 104 of 2015, Kim Jong-un met on the spot the combat pilot who successfully made a study tour of the revolutionary battle site in the area of Mount Baekdu. That day, he said the revolutionary faith is most precious to the combat pilots, and continued, "Confrontation in the sky is that of ideology and faith, and the fundamental factor of deciding winner and loser in the battle in the sky with no room to step back is also the revolutionary faith and the revolutionary spirit. Only those with strong indomitable faith can defend the post in the sky. All should follow the indomitable revolutionary spirit and manner of struggle possessed by the anti-Japanese revolutionary fighters and thoroughly apply them to work and life," he stressed. When he called at the revolutionary battle site in the area of Mount Baekdu together with officials early in December 108 or 2019, Kim Jong-un said, "Strengthening education in revolutionary traditions all the more is a strategic task of the Korean Revolution at present. We should always live and work in the offensive idea of the Baekdu. It is an important and vital issue in succeeding to the generation of revolution to firmly arm ourselves with a great idea and spirit running through the revolutionary traditions of the Baekdu." It was his intention to let the new generations, the main force of the Korean Revolution, become as good as the anti-Japanese revolutionary forerunners, either in view of the ideological and moral traits or in view of the manner of struggle. Poet Ryu Dong-ho, in his poem, "We Know Nothing But the Lineage of Mount Baekdu," wrote, "Mount Baek-do today is our General Kim Jong-un. But for him, the sun, the people will be gone, and the lifeline of Korea will be cut. Look at the rifles of resolute defense, flashing with the immutable truth. Look at the single-minded unity as strong as a citadel. The eternal lifeblood of Kim Il-sung's nation, the eternal lifeline of Kim Jong-il's Korea, lineage of Mount Baek-do, oh, the lineage of the sun. Along with the lineage, the revolution is ever victorious. Defending it, our utmost comes on this land. Oh, I spread my arms to hug you, the land of 3,000 ri, the strong root of Mount Baek-do, the sacred mountain of revolution. You have stretched yourself to the end of this country. Kim Jong-un is strengthening the political and ideological might of the revolutionary armed forces of Korea in every way, and thus training the service personnel of the People's Army as those with strong faith and will who fight at the risk of their lives only for the party and the revolution, for the country and the people. The Korean people will always write the history of victory, as they have him as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. You've been listening to a feature program under the title, Great Commander Who Trained the Army Strong in Ideology and Faith. This is Voice of Korea.
Now you'll enjoy the song. Our revolutionary armed forces support the marshal's leadership only. Who will accomplish the great cause of the Baek-do? He is our Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un. His love is our love. His hatred is our hatred. The revolutionary armed forces of the Baek-do follow only Marshal Kim Jong-un. The revolutionary armed forces of the Baek-do support his leadership only. specific. First step. We'll defend General Kim Jong-un at the cost of our life and the victorious Korea. to male colors. Long live the Workers' Party of Korea.
Here is orchestral music, The Road of Victory.
Now here is female chorus, the future of Korea.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service from Europe between 15 and 16 hours UTC, between 18 and 19 hours UTC, between 21 and 22 hours UTC, and between 13 and 14 hours UTC on 7,570 kHz and 12,015 kHz. For North America, between 15 and 16 hours UTC and between 13 and 14 hours UTC on 9,435 kHz and 11,710 kHz. And for Northeast Asia, between 4 and 5 hours UTC and between 6 and 7 hours UTC on 7,220 kHz, 9,445 kHz, and 9,730 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.